Welcome all to Community and the Constitution. I'm your host, David Mule. Everybody calls me Doc. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We're having a couple of slight technical issues that should clear up shortly. If you're unable to see the Skype button to call into the show tonight, try refreshing, give it a minute. I think Skype is acting up, having trouble with my sound on my end, and others are also having trouble getting it to log in. We have a hand up on the board. I don't know who that is. That might be one of Jessie's old cell numbers. She's trying to Skype in right now, and that just could have been from her on the board earlier. But let's see who we have. 541, you there?
No, I died.
All right.
Hi, darling. How you doing?
Good. Still can't get your Skype to work, huh?
Well, the button has popped up, so I was able to click on it, and it stopped the player, but nothing else has come up. Nothing else has come up, and usually it's come up by now, and my PC is 4 years old. It's a slow-ass computer, but it's just, and it usually comes up by now, but it's not coming up, so I'm not sure what's going on. It says that they've stopped the player on the page, blah, 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 whatever. I haven't seen anything else pop up yet, so, and I already signed in via Facebook, so I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Hey, it's always something. All good. How you doing, Jose?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Doc?
All right, a little bit better. My pills are finally kicking in. I had a bit of a headache earlier and a little blah today. But other than that, I wanted to get some work done today. That didn't turn out. It was just too damn cold to be out there working in the yard and trying to get my ground ready for seeding. But hopefully, by the end of this week, if not the weekend, I'll get this... I'll get my soil delivered. I'll get that tilled and worked in so I can get this ground planted, dang it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs to start focusing on that. If you have a yard or have some space to do so, get it done. Food prices are only going to continue to increase. Expect to see shortages on certain items. You know, it may not be everywhere, but I'm sure everybody's feeling the pressure and the pains right now with the way the economy is. Food is key, folks. As long as you got food, you know, you can do without the electricity. You know, you add more blankets, to keep you warmer in the colder months, and start a little fire or something if you got a fireplace, or there's always a way to work around it, but you have to eat. So the best thing you can do, especially with the price of vegetables and all that, is to get yourself some sort of system going. Even if you're in an apartment, I often am been heard over the years talking about aquaponic systems. If you have the room for it, great. Even if you're in an apartment, you can do that. You can grow all your herbs and spices and sprouts, and the list goes on and on and on. The only difference when you do inside growing is you want to make sure you have a grow light. So if you have electric, obviously you can have that grow light, and that's going to help your plants. It's going to keep them, the nutrients, developing within the plant. So that's just something to look into. We're going to cover a lot more of that in the future shows, I'm sure, coming up here on Freedom Reigns. We're putting together another new show for you all. Not sure what night of week it's going to be. And it'll be tied into the Regal system when we're ready to launch that within the next 2 weeks, probably. So a lot of exciting things coming up here.
But the food thing, Doc. Oh, sorry. I said it's funny that you bring up the food thing, because I was totally talking to my mom and a friend of mine about that last night. I was just amazed. I went real quick to go buy just a cheap meal at Taco Bell, or what I thought was cheap, because it was late. I just got off work. I did both my shifts, and then I go pick up my son. I come home. I go to Taco Bell. I come home, and it was like $10.50 for a small-ass meal.
Dish.
The small meal for myself, and then a couple extra, a little thing. One thing of dessert for myself, one thing for my son. I got my son a thing of peanuts and cheese, and that all totaled $10.
Well, you do know the price. You do know the price of horse meat's going up.
Price of everything's going up, dude. I was told food was going to go up to 40%, at least 40%.
You didn't hear, did you? You don't know.
You didn't hear Jose's
about Taco Bell.
What about it?
Taco Bell. Supposedly the customers whinny after they've eaten out Taco Bell these days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm not whinnying, huh? Sure.
No, seriously.
No, about the horses, the horse meat that's being found. It's not only Taco Bell, it's other fast food restaurants as well as suppliers.
Wait. Are you insinuating they're sticking horse meat in there now?
Yeah.
Not insinuating, they did.
Insinuating. Yeah, no, there's no...
horses?
It's not here in the U.S., though. That was one of their distributors overseas. Once they discovered it, yes, they did fire and terminate that particular meat provider or whatever. But it was not here in the U.S. That's been all over the news for the last couple of weeks.
Well, I don't have TV, so it just goes to show.
Several others.
I don't have TV, so it just goes to show how much I really, truly don't know.
Well, I don't think it was on TV. Well, I don't watch TV myself. It was on our local radio station when it first started happening because we have a comedic morning show DJ here. And anything that's going on in the news, he writes his own jingles and all kinds of stuff, and it's just hysterical. It gets me rolling. And his song was, when the horse meat was coming out, was what theme did he use? He uses popular songs that but of course changes the words, kind of like an Al Yankovic kind of thing, And, and it's pretty funny at the end of it, or one of the key phrases of the chorus for that short mock-up he did was, "You might be eating Mr. Ed." Well, that's funny for those of you who know who Mr. Ed is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
boy,
wait a minute. I by my head. Yeah, sorry. I do know who Mr. Ed is. I used to watch the reruns when I was a kid. I missed that show, really.
Yeah, that was actually a good, pretty cool show, especially for back in the day when it was first aired.
You know how they got him to talk?
Well, they did that. They had a small electronic device in the lip, in the horse's lip there. So whenever they wanted him to move his lip, they gave it a little shock type of deal. Just to trigger the. Just like you would get heat and stims if you went to any kind of chiropractor or anything like that. It's the same type of technology. It wasn't that they were hurting the animal in any way. It just, activated the nerves in the horse's lips.
And here, I thought it was peanut butter.
I was just going to say, dude, I thought it was peanut butter.
Nope. They used little stim. That's how they did that. Damn.
Oh.
Well, I really am aging myself. Oh, well. What are you going to do? It's all good.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you guys have an apartment, even if you have just a small apartment, trust me, you can do aquaponics. The beauty about aquaponics is you're not wasting anything. You're taking the nutrients right from the fish, their waste, and you're using that to nutriate the soil. The plant's absorbing all the nasty stuff out of it, and the water drains back into your fish tank, crystal clear and drinkable. So the fish is always getting a constant flow of clean water. Your plants are always getting fed the nutrients it needs, and taking it and cleaning the water for it and going back. Even if you don't have aquaponics is great. All right, I love it. Don't get me wrong. However, it's not for everyone in the aspect of it is a lot of work depending on the medium, which is whatever you're using for your grow bed. So to cheat that, what I call a cheat, so this way you're not going to return that water back to the fish tank, though. That's the only difference. You still want to use your fish tank's water, okay, to feed and nutrient, give the nutrition to your plants. But if you're using regular soil or peat moss or any kind of, regular grow bed, whether you do it in the ground in your outside garden even, use as much of the fish water as you can. Now, of course, that clean water is not getting back to the tank, and that's okay. But it is at least you're using one way or the other. So it's pretty cool. It's just a bunch of different tricks and stuff you can do and learn. Look it up on any YouTube. You can see all the different amazing ideas that people are doing. You can do everything from just using a couple of swimming pools, that little plastic pools they used to sell, like places like Walmart and stuff, for like $10, $10, $15, especially in the off season. You can get it for like $10. You can use 2 swimming pools. I know a person, matter of fact, I think they have their video up there on YouTube on that, and they used an old bunk bed that was metal frame, not wood because it's outside, but used a metal frame, and they put one swimming pool on the bottom bunk, and that was for the fish, and they put the other swimming pool on the top bunk, and they wired it up that way, and they had a complete cycle going there, and it was great. The thing did fantastic, and of course, you had all that growing space other sides of that pool. So, like I said, you're only limited to your imagination. It's just the idea of getting started and doing something. If you got a yard to do it in, great, do it outside. If you can do a raised garden, great. If you have poor soil, do it a raised garden. If you do have poor soil, there's easy ways and cheap ways you can utilize to accomplish bringing that soil up to a growable grade without spending too much money. So you just got to look around and see what you can get, what you can do with what you have available. But definitely get something in the ground as soon as possible. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run, and at least you're never going to starve to death. Also, the other thing, too, when you're growing any kind of crops, any kind of growing at all, always keep in mind, grow what you're going to eat. Doesn't do you any good to grow something that nobody in the household is going to eat. Why grow it? Unless you're trying to sell it. But that's a whole other ballgame. So if you're doing this, you definitely want to do grow something you're going to enjoy eating. Also, you want to check on your weather conditions. What is best that's going to grow, not only for the soil you have, but for the climate that you have. Very important. I've tried for years down here in Florida, and we are just too hot. Wintertime we might get lucky a little bit, and I can't grow lettuce here. It's a cold weather plant. It doesn't do well down here at all, and I love my lettuce, and I've just never had any luck with it. I can get it to sprout, no problem. I can get it, get it to germinate, I should say, get it to grow. The second I go to transplant it into the ground at all, forget it. The heat down here just bakes it. It's shot. I can't get, a plate out of it. So I've given up on my lettuce. But I'm going to try that in the wintertime. I'm going to see what I can do with a...
Have you tried inside?
Like cold weather and like a... like a small greenhouse kind of thing over top of them. But this way it's cold enough outside that they're not going to bake, and the sun will keep it warm enough to where it ain't going to freeze. So it's something I want to play with because I enjoy eating lettuce. But just anything else is pretty good, down here in the Florida climate because we have plenty of rain, usually. We have plenty of rain. Our biggest issue down here is our soil. We have farms all over the place out here, and that's years and years of generations, and of course their soil is full of the advantages of the animals and livestock they have. So it's natural fertilizer for them, which of course, does great for the soil down here, because the soil down here is sand, clay. So those kind of things are what we have to fight down here. For me, I'm like, I have very little clay in my soil. It's almost all pure sand. And you dig down about 4 inches, you're pretty much getting to white beach sand. It's very similar to that texture. So there's nothing there. There's nothing that's going to grow in that food-wise. My grass does great because I don't, use it a couple inches on the surface over the years. So I have my grass does fantastic because I have the right seed in the ground for that. So, but for growing, any kind of vegetables and things of that nature, I have to work my soil. Or I use my aquaponics system, and I don't have to worry about the soil at all. But that's a lot of work, especially if you're going to use, depending on the grow bed you're going to use, because you have to constantly clean it every year. You got to make sure you're not cleaning it because of the water. You got to clean your medium because the roots. The roots will get wrapped around the rock or whatever you may be using, or into the bio balls. When you go to pull your first crop, you're using the most popular bio beads or whatever they're called in your aquaponics system for your grow medium. They grow fantastically. Don't get me wrong; you're never going to get a better tasting plant, vegetable, fruit, whatever you're growing, than out of an aquaponic system. And it's also going to grow much larger than the norm because of the way the system is designed. The problem is when you pull it out, you're going to find out when you go to pull that plant and harvest it, and you pull that root up, you got all these little balls all tangled in within the damn roots. So you got to sit there and pick all those balls out of the roots and, clean them off and then put them back into your grow bed. So for that aspect of it, it's a little bit of work, a little bit of a pain in the ass. But for those who want to cheat it, like I call it, because, some people just don't like doing that much work. If they want to cheat it, you simply do, use your regular soil. You just utilize the water from your fish tanks, from your indoor, outdoor, wherever your fish tanks may be. If you're doing it not for living, you're doing this for food supply. Keep that in mind. You can go out and get these 100-gallon, 300-gallon feeding troughs, for the water for the livestock, and you can pick them up pretty cheap. Now, depending on the area you want again make what you're going to eat. Cats pretty much allowable in any climate and will survive in any climate and anywhere, and almost every country around the Union and county allow that. But always double check. If you do tilapia like I do, when you get into tilapia down here in Florida, we're only allowed to have the white tilapia without special permission and permits, because a tilapia is a very invasive type species, and we already have it in the Florida waters. And if they get into a local system, it will destroy and take over a local system. The reason tilapia is great, one, it's a very hardy and strong fish. Two, things breeding. If you get a breeding pair, a single pair, one pair of fish, have on average of 750 offspring a year. And it takes about 12 to 13 months to go from birth. They're live birthing fish. They keep the babies in the mother's mouth. That's how they protect and keep the fish as they're growing. Fantastic, very strong, very hardy, love to be packed tight. So if you got a 150-gallon tank, you start out with 5, 6 fish. Hopefully you got a breeding pair in there. By the end of that first year, you're gonna have more fish in that tank than you know what to do with. And as they grow up, like I said, they don't mind being cramped together. They love it. So you can really overpopulate it, but just make sure you filter it real well if you do that. Of course, the more fish you're gonna have, waste you're gonna have, the better for your plants. So you just gotta make sure you flex that system out. On a daily basis. When you do it, you want to do it because they are very strong and hardy. You always want to make sure you use take out about 50% of the current water that's in the tank, and then add your fresh water. And you're going to have that constant cycle going if it's not an all-in-one complete aquaponic system and you're just using the water, or if you're just using the fish, on their own to have the fish. But from birth to plate is about 12 to 13 months. You're going to get yourself a nice fish out of that, and you're never going to starve, folks. A small tank of tilapia, because they're such quick breeders, and they have, I said, about 750 offspring a year. All right, after that first year, you could feed your neighborhood fish every single night, and you're never going to run out of fish. It's just a matter of getting that first year past you. Once you get that first year under your belt, trust me, you can feed the entire neighborhood. And you're never going to run out of fish. So you're always going to have food to eat. And tilapia is a nice white fillet type fish. No real taste to it other than whatever flavors you add to it. So it works with everything. You can grill it, you can fry it. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on, however you want to prep your fish. And even people who don't usually like fish, actually like tilapia. They will eat tilapia. Because it's just a matter of how you prep it. Whether you're doing your lemon and pepper or but whatever your choice is, whatever your taste is. And then you have your garden. Okay, so you're going to go out there, you're going to have your fresh vegetables. You're going to have your lettuce, salad. You start out with salad, you move on to your main course. If you grow your potatoes, boom, there's your not only your mashed potatoes for your plate or baked potatoes for your plate, then you can start making your homemade snack like potato chips and French fries or whatever. You're only limited to your creativity. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty because this is going to save your life, folks. This is not something that should be looked at. Gardening's not my thing. Don't look at it that way. Look at it as one, it's going to save you a fortune on your grocery bill. Two, once you start eating your own food, you know what's in it. You don't have the chemicals. You don't have a lot, and you're going to actually taste things for the first time. If you've never had fresh grown, especially if you're using the aquaponic system, the nutrients and the flavor and the enhancement that comes out in that food, you'll be like one of my, I've been eating cardboard all these years, and you'll never go back. You'll get an addiction. It's also great for kids. Kids love to play in the dirt anyway. They love that hands-on kind of stuff. Get the family involved. They, see what they want to grow. This year, my daughter's begging me. She wants to do her watermelons this year. No problem. So I'm going to do a crop of watermelon this year for her. And she'll be out there every day picking weeds and, watering and taking care of her her watermelons as well as, the rest of the crops, whatever are in there. Look into this is what they used to call the Three Sisters, or other ones may know of as what the natives thought the colonials back in the day. And you grow your corn with your beans, a pole bean, a climbing bean, and a ground-growing ground squash. Those three all go in the same hole. You start your corn first. You wait till that stalk gets about 6 inches. It's about 6 inches grown. That's when you want to drop your seeds in for your pole beans on one side. Put your squash seeds on the other. Just surround it right around the stalk. Now you have all three vegetables. They work perfectly unison together because they don't use the same nutrients, and one actually helps bees and protect the others. The squash, not only does it help with the nutrient levels, it also has a built-in defense system which will protect your crops. It's got very sharp little edges on its leaves, a little point edge, and that deters any kind of insect growth to getting to your plants. So that's why the three of them work fantastically in unison with each other. It also cuts down on space, and it's all natural. You don't have to worry about adding, any kind of stick or something for your pole beans and stuff to grow on, because it'll literally grow and wrap itself right around the corn, and it just all goes hand in hand. Works fantastically, and that pretty much is any climate, especially summertime. Down here, it just goes hot wild down here. You get so much squash down here, it ain't funny. All different types, breeds of squash. Beans. I know I'm limited. Trust me, I'm limited knowledge when it comes to beans. But beans is a lifesaver. If you can figure out how to do beans and figure out different kinds, if you ever been to a store, everybody's of course heard of Goya. Yeah, there must be like 400 different types of beans out there. And they all have a very specific and unique flavor, and the vitamins and nutrients that you get from it and the things you can do to it. It's just a matter of getting the knowledge to do this. I've ran across people over the years that have written books, authors that have written and published books on just beans alone. I'm talking 400-page books just on beans, and the utilization of it and everything you can do with it is just amazing. And they don't even consider themselves experts because it's one of those products that is so popular, it's so easy to do, and there's just so much you can do with it that you couldn't learn it all in a lifetime, according to them. Like I said, that's not my forte. I know very little bit about it. I like peas. I do my beans, my peas, my peppers. Your different peppers, your tomatoes, of course, your lettuce, cabbage, vegetables, in the aspect of, fruits, and rather, anything growing around like your watermelon, your cantaloupes, anything to that effect is fantastic. One, they're very nutritional. They're healthy to eat. It's a great snack for the kids. And if you check the prices out, if you go to the store and look at prices, anything today, it's through the roof. especially if it's grown. And you have total control over it. You don't have to worry about the pesticides, GMO, and all the other crap that's out there. So it's just up to help you guys out. Hopefully, encourage you guys a little bit more out there to take control of your life. It's all about being self-responsibility. We teach about law and correction of status, and if you're going to do that, you're self-responsible. You're self-reliable. You need to rely on yourself. If you lose your job, you're not going to get unemployment. You know what I mean? There is no food stamps. There is no welfare whatsoever once you correct your status because you're no longer a U.S. citizen. You don't not allowed to collect those benefits and privileges. So you got to rely on yourself. And for any economy to do anything and to be successful, whether it's the individual or you're talking a complete nation, it has to have a strong agricultural base. Without the agricultural base, that nation or individual cannot survive. This is why they've been attacking us with food, between prices and GMO and all this control and regulations passing on farmers, and the list goes on and on and on, because it's about population control. If you can control the food, you control the population, and that includes the population's growth as well as the economy. They all go hand in hand. If you don't have that agriculture, sorry, you can be the strongest superpower in the world. You're going to die off. Because you cannot feed your people. You're going to have to import all that food, and if you don't have something to export in exchange for it, you really have to know what your limitations are. Get to know what will succeed for you. Your soil, what you start out small, and you'd be surprised just starting out small, starting indoors even, with your herbs and spices, and you see them all over the place. They got these different air gardens, and you'll have all your fresh herbs and spices right there if you don't want to do it from scratch. I always recommend doing it from scratch. It's a lot cheaper, but for the beginner, and this is something new for you, go ahead and drop $20. It's a little overpriced for me, in my opinion, but you drop the $20 or whatever it is they want for these things, and you'll at least have you'll have something to start with, whatever the price may be. But I always recommend try to do it for yourself. Yeah, LB's definition. Jose, you can share that. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, you specifically mentioned, the economy, and this is the first thing that came to my mind. So I figured, maybe it's kind of worth sharing. But LB says, your economy has been stolen. And this is something that he posted on Facebook. He says, in 1828, Noah Webster defined an economy as such. Definition 1, primarily the management, regulation, and government of a family or the concerns of a household. That is very interesting. The government of a family. How many times do we really hear that anymore? Government economy is way down his list. The point is, the state now controls your economy. And then he goes on to say, did I ever tell you about the time I wrote a book called The Red Amendment that explains all this? Seems like no one really gives two hoots, as they like their Marxist comfort. Oh well, I agree with him. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, I knew what the word economy meant. I don't know if anybody else really does, but
and for
LB,
whether it be your household, your own house within yourself. Yeah, that's where it all starts, folks. And in order for any economy, any nation, any individual to succeed, or you can do for yourself, that money sort of goes back into your budget for other things. And with the food prices going through the roof, I bring it up because I'm telling you, what I used to be able to do compared to what I do today has almost literally, just for the basics. I mean, I don't buy nothing fancy, folks. We live on chicken and pork in my household, okay, and spaghetti. You know, that's all that we can really afford. And even with that, just coffee, your necessities such as like toilet paper and things like that. But other than that, we don't spend much of anything that we try on a food budget, and yet it's still taking up 300-400 or better months per family of five, and that's because I don't have my crop here, which I'm getting in around now. I'm going to be out for about another 2 months. From then, I'll be able to, recoup everything, get everything back on the shelves, start stocking up my supply. Our supply has ran down and up, and even we're behind on our rice. We're behind on everything.
Josh, say something?
Yeah, absolutely, dear.
Okay, sorry. I had company earlier, so I don't know what I missed. Fill me in on Skype if I missed a lot. With that food thing you're saying, I have 2 mouths to feed, and my bill is anywhere between $300 to $350 a month, and that's just with 3 or 4 pounds of hamburger just to get us through the month. Maybe a big thing of like a little bit of meat or whatever, some kind of beef or pork, and canned canned stuff and ramen noodles. I make my lunch ramen noodles, and I usually make my son macaroni and cheese with tuna fish and peas. It sounds gross, but it's actually really good and it's healthy. And that, like I said, we don't eat very much. It's very we're not rich. We don't eat 3 good full course meals a day because I can't afford it. But it's just two people, and my bill is anywhere between $300 to $360 a month.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, and that's just for 1 month. Yeah, maybe here and there I will go ahead and buy a little extra juice for food storage, just in case there's a month where I can't afford anything. But for the most part, every month it's anywhere between $300 to $350, and that's just for myself and my 18-month-old. That's not going to include my daughter when she comes out here in April. It's going to raise at least a good $200.
Well, this is all pre-planned.
I know.
In the system, it's all pre-planned. And, we're sitting here going, oh, my God, when is the economy going to crash? I know it's coming. When is it going to happen? It's happening. It's not that it's gonna. It's in process, and we're watching it. And it all starts very slowly, but then it picks up speed. So if you think things are bad right now, I'm telling you, by this time next year, whatever you're paying for, say, a pack of cigarettes, $6, right? Okay.
Pack of cigarettes out here, for example, our cheapest cigarettes are $4.90.
Okay. Next year, you can expect that to be like 10.
I know.
Or
what do you
really
think
close.
I quit smoking 3 to 4 years ago? Seriously?
Bread, a loaf of bread for like $3.
I know,
ridiculous.
Dude.
A year and a half ago, a loaf of bread was $1.
Yep.
I know.
Now it's almost $3.
It's almost $2 for me over here in Oregon.
Yeah, we have, I think we talked about this on one of the other shows. If I go to the corner store here, of course they're a little bit more marked up, even though they use our local milk and local distributor and all that. It's $5 a gallon for a gallon of milk. I go to the grocery store, it isn't that much better. Of course, it's a little bit better. It's still just under $4 a gallon, and it's going up. Yeah, everything is going up. It used to be we got away from growing and doing these kind of things because things were cheap. Okay, they were able to keep us blinded, if you will, just because everything was cheaper. So it's cheaper to go out and buy a dozen eggs than it is, to go and take care of a couple of chickens. All right. Well, now even the farmers and stuff are going through the roof and having trouble because the feed prices for the animals are going through the roof. So have something set up food-wise. Get started moving, folks. The time running out. You're only going to see the prices increase of everything because they're attacking the agriculture. They've been doing this for years with all these regulations, and it's getting worse. And now they're hitting the farmers in the pocket even more with the increased price of feed. So you really have to do this now, otherwise you're going to find yourself very quickly not being able to afford to eat, or your entire budget going to nothing but general basics to try to eat so you don't starve. And we're on that cusp right now. Even seeds, to go out and buy seeds. If you can, of course, get the heirloom seeds. As always, you pay a little bit more for them. But even the little Berkey pack of seeds that you can buy in the grocery stores and stuff, even those have gone up there. They used to be like, 69 cents, 35 cents, depending on which one you bought. Some are like 60-some cents a piece, to buy packages of seeds. The cheapest seed pack I could find today is like $3 a pack. So everything, no matter what it is, if it's related to food in some way, shape, or form, just in the last 16 months, has tripled in price. And you guys are talking about tobacco. Yeah, for a lot of people, that is a very large part of their budget. Me, I'm a smoker. I'm not one of those, I have this brand and this cigarette and blah, 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 blah. I also smoke cigars. I smoke a pipe. I roll my own. I have every avenue. I actually enjoy a smoke. And ever since I was a teenager and I started smoking, I always said that when it got to be more than $1 a pack, I would quit smoking.
Yeah, right. Dude, I said the same thing, except when it got to be $5, dude. I quit smoking when prices of cigarettes reached $5.50, and that was 3 years ago.
You know what, dear? You know how much I pay for mine?
Yeah, you're in the East Coast, so I would assume somewhere around 10.
Try $1 a pack.
Nuh-uh. Are you playing?
No, ma'am.
You get them online, don't you? You're cheap.
Nope. My local store. We do
no
a lot.
Way!
I smoke. It looks like a regular cigarette, but brown in color. It's small, mini cigars. It looks like, they have king size, full size, 100s rather. I smoke Remington.
And I was thinking Winchester.
Yep. They're small cigars. I smoke, I inhale them just like I do anything else. And I pay $10.12 a carton. That's with tax.
Yep.
Because I have Marlboro, the Newport, the Camp, have that. I enjoy smoking. So, as long as I get, 99 cents a pack, of course they throw in a little bit of the extra tax there because it comes just over $1 a pack. I keep smoking because I enjoy it. And I've gone many hours, days without smoking. It's not an addiction to me. It's enjoyment. There's a difference. That's why I can smoke everything and anything out there, because I don't have that menthol or non-menthol or the craving of the high nicotines that you're going to get in these name brand cigarettes. I don't have that addiction. I enjoy the smoke. And they come in multiple flavors. That's the beauty about it. Like this week, I put a carton of rum. A week before I'll get white grape. One before that I'd get a carton of strawberry. I get, they do even have menthol. I don't like the menthol too much. But my point is, if you're going to do it, and it's like, I have something in my hand, and it's that habit, and you can't break it.
I broke it.
That will be that $1 a pack. So there's always some way to do it. You're not going to get the brand you want. You may not be getting a cigarette. You may have to go for the cigar line of things. But you'd be surprised. We have several brands, especially down here, because a lot of it's all grown right here in Florida. Several brands of tobacco companies here that are under $15 a carton. Now, of course, now you had the increase in fuel. And yes, you were pretty right. At the name brand cigarettes down here, my wife, she likes her Newports, $6 a pack. You go up to New Jersey, where the rest of our family's at, and they're up there at $8 a pack. You go a little bit further north, like New York and stuff, they're $10 to $12 a pack.
Now, that's where I got that. Yeah, that's where I got that. I went and visited a friend of mine out in Maine like 4 or 5 years ago when I was still smoking, and cigarettes in Maine were $8-9 a pack. That's why before I left Portland to go fly over to Portland, Oregon, to go fly to Portland, Maine, I bought my own carton of cigarettes in Portland before I went, and I flew across the frickin' country. I was not about to pay frickin' $50-$60 for a pack or for a carton of effing cigarettes.
Yeah, that's great. But
that was retarded.
People take that because they got this thing in their mind. They need it. And instead of cutting back, because not only do I just need to smoke, I can have my brand. And that's how they get you. And folks that expect that price, like Jose said, by the end of this year, that's going to be almost doubled, if not outlawed. Now, they're not going to ever outlaw it as bad as it is because, hey, big money controls all this, obviously. They can keep making big bucks on it and collect large taxes on it. They're never going to outlaw it. However, you're going to be penalized, and we already are. If you're a smoker, you're going to be penalized, just like you always have, but even more so. Not paying all these extra luxury taxes and stuff they include in it. Go ahead and try to get health care coverage. Oh, and we have, so you must have health care coverage. Go ahead and try to get health care coverage as a smoker. Not necessarily without paying through the nose for it. Try to get an insurance policy. And dang. Now everything's connected. Another reason to correct your stat out of this crap. Your Social Security number, because they're already doing that. They're using your Social Security number and your credit rating for how much car insurance you're going to pay. Right? Years. Hello, are you insuring the individual or are you insuring the vehicle?
Dude, apparently, according to anybody anymore, all of us quote-unquote citizens, all we are is a freaking number. That's it. We're just a number. We're a number. We're a credit score. We're everything. That sucks.
Yippers. And same thing is if you don't, and they start this to the young kids, my elementary school. The kids have a student ID number.
I know. Oh.
I mean, come on. This is elementary school. They go to the lunchroom and stuff. They got to put in their student ID number into the computer. You fill out certain paperwork. I have a student ID number, and that number follows them all the way through their education, from kindergarten through high school. And then when they get into the universities and colleges, if they go into that, which is a total waste of money, in my opinion, even if you're for doctors, lawyers, and all these other super jobs that put you in so much debt by the time you're done, you're never going to make a profit. It just ain't going to happen. So, yeah, that's right. I did say $1 a pack is $1.02 or $1.01 a pack, so I should quit technically. All right, I give. But the point is, if it's something you truly enjoy, if it's something you do, because I don't have the addiction, because I don't even have the nicotine, when I go through insurance papers and stuff, I put down non-smoker. Even my doctor will classify me as a non-smoker. He will put down non-smoker. And anybody, get this, folks, this is a little secret. There we go. I love letting cats out of the bag. You go to get insurance. You go to get health insurance. Sure, life insurance, anything. Right? Always put smoking. Always. I have family members that work in the insurance business. Trust me, always put non-smoking. Even if the agent comes to your house and he's filling out the paperwork, you can smoke a cigarette right in front of him. He must put down what you tell him, non-smoker. And he will try to tell you that, well, when you die, we check for nicotine. If the nicotine level's in there, we're not going to pay on that claim. Laugh at the guy in the face, because in the 200 years of people selling insurance, never once have they ever checked for nicotine in a system before they paid on a claim. Yep. And I told the guy, really? You want to do that? Knock yourself out, because I'm already prepaid for my cremation. The hour I die, The company comes and picks me up anywhere in the United States, picks me up, and within the next 24 hours, I am fried. No autopsy, no nothing. All right? So if you want to try to figure out from a pile of ashes whether or not, I had nicotine in my system at the time I died, go ahead. Lots of love. And the guy just rolled his eyes, says, "You know too much." And I'm telling you, I got bad people in the family and the members in the insurance business. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. They're a bunch of bullshit artists. All right.
Well, it's MSM.
Yeah.
Most of it is MSM, or MLM, multi-level marketing. And that's the thing that gets me about it is that the government, the U.S. government specifically, is nothing more, and if you look at it, it's nothing more than a multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh yeah,
it really is. There's nothing else to it.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. Don't listen to their lies and their bullshit. Tell always anything you put down or anything you're trying to get a quote for. Non-smoker, always.
Yeah.
Even heaviest smoker in the world and dying of cancer, put down non-smoker. They can't do a damn thing about it because that actually, see, here's the technical thing. They tell you that, all right, because remember, everything comes down to your signature and contract. Well, isn't being a smoker or not the same as being prejudiced against my color, race, orientation, etc.?
That's true.
You're judging me because of a addiction or because of a habit. All right? So,
because they did the thing with, sorry.
Okay. It's a form of discrimination. You're going to charge me more because of this. All right? And as long as you tell him, "Hey, I'm a non-smoker. You got cigarettes hanging out your mouth," while you're telling him. He has to write that. And don't sign it unless he does. Because he cannot alter that contract once it's over because you're going to get a copyright on the spot. Nowadays, because the insurance companies know all this and the cat's been let out of the bag, it doesn't even matter how old you are. You got companies out there, no medical, no nothing. You answer 3 or 4 questions, you check the box, you send in your premium, boom, there you go, you're insured. Doesn't matter. You cannot be denied, you can't be turned down, blah, blah, blah. AARP, all those people, they have that now. Because they know the gig is up. It's a contract. It's a gamble for the insurance company. You're going to gamble that I'm going to live long enough that you're going to profit off my premiums.
Yeah, that is the correct way to look at it. It is a gamble.
Yep. Now,
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing as walking into a casino.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you're looking at, now there's different kinds of life insurance. You got whole life and you have term life and stuff. If you're looking for the ones that will make you money, and they do, there's some out there that are excellent, that if you actually follow the plan correctly, this, that, and the other thing, and you start at a young enough age, by the time you get retirement, you could actually retire, almost practically nothing as far as because your premiums and stuff don't go up. The way that money is handled and the way it's done, you can end up retiring a millionaire. Just because of having the proper life insurance set up to do this. Check into. But those type of policies do require, full interviews, medical workups, the whole 9 yards. They usually do require a lot more information on that. It's a beautiful thing, though. My kids, all from the day they were born, have been insured. They got a set premium till the day they die. And it makes money, okay? And it's through the Gerber Foundation. My whole family's been with Gerber 3-4 generations. And I pay for my kids for the whole entire year. And it comes to $200 and some odd a year. Okay? So they pay is $200 a year. They have two of them have a $10,000 policy. The other one has a $15,000 policy. Just happened to be that on sale when they were born, and I got to 15. It was only like 3 or 8 cents difference in the premium. But anyway, the one child pays $79. The other one's like $60-some a year, and then the eldest one, not the eldest, the youngest one, got the 15,000 policy. Hers is like $108 or something for the whole year. That's what it comes out to. You pay it for the whole year. When they turn 18, it automatically doubles its value. So I got it at birth, $10,000 policy. Their 18th birthday, it automatically turns into a $20,000 policy. No increase in the premium.
That's interesting.
Okay. Gerber's always been that way. They also have a college fund one that connects to it. So even if what it is you put a couple of pennies aside from birth. It's all part of the policy. And if they decide not to go to college, not a problem. That money is still theirs to do whatever they want to do. Go buy a new car with it. Go buy a house, whatever, depending on how much is there, obviously. But it's set up as a college fund. The other advantage to all this is all that stuff is, especially if you're a citizen, no, only if you're a citizen, it's all write-off, folks. That's all written off, and it's all tax-free money. Tax. Oh, the only time any insurance company does any kind of investigations, if there is, they believe in fraud or murder or something like suspicious death when the person who's making the claim. That's the only time they do investigations, folks. So don't worry about it. But yeah, check into these things. I mean, it might be a little bit too late for a lot of people. Too late in the aspect of because they just can't afford it. Because right now we're worrying about even feeding ourselves with the way the economy is. But definitely want to look into eventually. Check it out. Of course, the older you are that you get started on this, my kids have started from birth, the older you are, the more expensive it is. The policies are going to be more and more expensive.
Mm-hmm. That's just the way everything goes, though. I mean, the older you are, the more you get charged for just about everything anyway.
So the younger you start, the better off you're going to be. That was the only point of that.
Yeah. Well, my parents had the Gerber thing with me for a long time. And I tried to keep it up during the entire time that I was in the military, but buying a house, 2 kids, 2 cars, a wife, the whole 9, within 4 years, I was massively in debt. And if my kids hadn't been born in, covered by the military when they were born, I don't know how I would have paid for any of that. I think we would have just had home birth, type of a deal, which is always a good option if you can find a good midwife. And that's not really all that difficult to do out in the country. Heck, just any old cowboy knows how to be a midwife.
Yep.
You birth horses and you birth cattle and you birth goats and sheep. After a while, you kind of learn, hey, there's a certain commonality here. There's no mystery to it, is what I'm saying. It's not like this big, huge, mysterious thing where you have to go to college to learn it. No, it's not. Yeah, it's always good to have clean, dry towels, and some hot water sitting on the side. And that's pretty much it. Maybe a couple blankets for the baby for when it's born. A little string to tie off the cord.
Yeah, the only thing they're playing is playing catcher. That's what I always call them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, I'm just here to, you got difficulties and complications from time to time, but for the most part, it all goes smooth. And if you want to, you can actually take all first aiders, even most law enforcement and whatnot, have gone through the course for childbirthing. It's not that difficult. It's pretty easy. You can take the whole entire course and even get certified in childbirthing in a matter of, a few weeks. Actually, it's really that simple. There's not that much involved into it at all. You know, those firefighters, law enforcement, all your first aid and responders. You know, they teach you all this stuff. It's not hard. It's real easy. The only time you run into problems if there is complication, you know, if it's a breech birth or if the cord's wrapped around a neck, or you do have sometimes where, of course, then you can't do it would be like an emergency C-section. There, you just want to make sure you get to the hospital. You know, do all you can. And mother aspect to do anything like that. But even with that, in an extreme emergency case, it's not that difficult to do. Not that I'm giving medical over the phone, but really, if it comes down to it, you know, you'd be surprised what you can do in a panic situation. You know a lot more than you may realize. But anyway, we're at the top of our hour, and what we say we take a short break here. We'll play a song, and we come back. Jose's going to cover some information for us that he was working on that we missed out on last week. Sorry, I ended up drifting off there on everybody with the topics tonight, but I thought it was a cover, and I really didn't expect it to take but more than a few minutes. I didn't realize we were going to blow out a whole hour here. I'll give a shout-out to everybody out there in our chat rooms. We thank you for joining us tonight. Please, always good to see you. Along with the guest, and we lost Adam over on BTR, but Josetta's still with us.
Me?
Hello. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we're both here. Hi.
But yeah, thanks as always for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the information that we're bringing you this evening. It's my turn to shut up. I'm going to turn this over to Jose. What do you got for us?
Well, last week we were looking at having some problems on the radio and this, that, and the other, and I was going to take over, and due to a power outage, I couldn't even get on. So I had kind of thrown some stuff together. You know, one of the main things that was going on was this trip to Israel that Obama's doing. You know, he's on his way over to Israel. That's the first time in 5 years. He's been in office 5 years, and this is the first trip he's taken to Israel. You know, and this is memorable. This is very memorable. No other president has ever taken 5 years to go to Israel. They all make it, you know, within the first year or the first 2 years. Anyways, I don't know what all, you know, they do when they go there. I never really got into that part of it, but it's memorable because it's Obama and because he's going to Israel. Now, what's even more memorable about this is that he's going to arrive on March 22nd. Now, according to one of the guys that made a video, and I forgot to get the link to the video, what's memorable about it is that he will be arriving in Jerusalem on the same day, supposedly, that Jesus arrived in Jerusalem on a donkey. 2,000 and something years ago, or something like that, or almost 2,000 years ago. Let's see here. Now, is there some significance to March 22nd? Well, I don't know, but I just decided, you know, I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to throw some stuff on there. Before I move on. Now, the symbol for a Democrat, Obama, is the donkey. That's the Democrats' thing, you know, their mascot. Now, the Republicans, they use an elephant, and I don't know how that would work out, but Democrats being on a donkey, Jesus rode in on a donkey, you know, the parallels there. March 22nd, 322. Well, March 22nd, Georgia Guidestones, those things were erected on March 22nd, 1980. That's 33 years ago this March. On the 22nd, makes exactly 33 years. Okay. Now 322. Everybody knows 322. That's skull and crossbones. I'm kind of stepping into that area. Let's see here. Supposedly, one of the things about the 33 is that King David reigned in Jerusalem for 33 years. I don't know how that fits in, but it's just stuff that I picked up, and I was going to pass it on to Doc to see if he wanted to make a little talk about it, but he said, no, you take the show. But then the power went out. I'm still wondering about that power going out. Let's see here. 33 years ago, the Georgia Guidestones were erected on March 22nd. Let's see. It goes on. I'm going to skip one here. Supposedly, in the Bible, there's some sort of reference to a 1/3, which would be 33.3% of things that will be killed or destroyed. I thought that was 2/3, which would be 66.6%. But I don't know. So I don't remember who I got that one off of. Then there's this. I found this one to be kind of cute. Lucifer, when he left heaven, he took 1/3, or the 33%, right, of the angels with him. And then there's this little Mason 33 thing going. But let's go over to the Vatican, since they just got their new pope. According to predictions of Saint Malachi, this pope is supposed to be named Petrus Romanus, I believe it is. Peter the Roman. It turns out the man took the name of Francis I. He's from Argentina, and which makes him the first American pope ever. I don't know how all that fits in, but the Vatican recognizes 33 doctors of the Church. Now, Pope John Paul II proclaimed Saint Teresa of Lisieux Doctor of the Church. She became the 33rd person and the third woman to be honored with this title. Let's see here. Okay. I said Freemasons. Okay, yeah. Freemasonry. The 33rd degree is the highest degree within the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite. Now, what I gleaned from all this is that the supreme symbol is a double-headed eagle with an illuminated triangle balanced on its crown with a number 33 emblazoned within it. Now, I don't know how I went from 322 over to 33 and stuff like that. But it's kind of all interconnected, because if you think about it, Skull and Bones, and then you got the Freemason Society, and we all know about the Vatican, how they are supposedly controlling everything or own everything in a legal sense or something like that. Anywho, I'll go on to the next thing that I found. There's 33 members that compose the Council of the Order of the Great Orient of France. Now, that might be some sort of connection over to this Francis I, because, the name Francis, it's actually Franciscus, which means Frank. Frank is France in its own, thing there. Let's see here. Aleister Crowley, the self-declared Satan of his time, and Albert Pike, whom we all know it was quite influential in D.C., Albert Pike was, were both 33-degree Masons. I don't know if Karl Marx was a Mason. I think he was. I think he was actually Illuminati, not just a Mason. Now, step into a little bit further. There's 33 sections to the United Nations on the inner emblem of their logo. The circles, the way they're all split up, and then the very center circle makes 33 parts. I believe there's also 33 leaves on the 2 branches that go along the outside. I didn't stop to count them. Sorry. Harry S. Truman, 33rd president. This 33rd degree Mason and president initiated the nuclear age, the crowning success of alchemy, of course. That's when the first A-bomb was exploded at the 33rd parallel Trinity test site in Alamogordo, White Sands, New Mexico. I'm sure that you see the correlation: 33rd president, 33rd degree Mason, 33rd parallel. Trinity is the name of the test site, right? It all kind of, I don't know, it just stuff that kind of tends to go together. And I believe it all kind of fits because they're deep, deep, deep into symbolism, these people. It's kind of insane if you think about it, to allow numbers to run your life. But that's just the way they are. Let's see here.
Well, there's a reason for that.
What's
Number
that?
Everything in the universe. It's the one thing, no matter what language, that is unchanging. 1 + 1, no matter what language or where you're located on the planet or out in the universe, always equals 2.
Right.
It's the only constant in the universe is mathematics, the numbers. Yeah, of course, it goes a lot deeper than that, but if you're into Einstein, but yeah, that's why their fascination and everyone's fascination, it really, although they just don't put the 2 and 2 together, always comes down to numerics. And your whole society is symbolism. It's important to everyone, whether you're a Mason or not. And you may not just believe it. If you're a religious person, it's all about symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
is symbolic in nature. If they came out and told you the truth, or if you actually read your own books that you learn this stuff out of, you can see all that's taking place. And why they don't tell you about it, or why they don't talk about these things, it's beyond me. We think people are cuckoo. They're out there with their conspiracy stuff and aliens and UFOs and all this kind of talk. Okay, well, have you ever read your religious text? Have you ever read any? It's all talking about UFOs and aliens, visitors from other planets, and that's really where we came from. And it's just, and it's in every textbook. Well, we don't see it, especially the Bible. The Bible is full of nothing but UFOs. Now, they don't call them UFOs or alien visitors; they call them angels. And it's just a word for an alien visitor. Okay.
The Nephilim. There you go.
And even Jesus himself, multiple times throughout the Bible, tells us constantly, I am not of this world. Okay? I come from another. Constantly throughout the New Testament, he talks about that. People don't put 2 and 2 together. They just don't get it. That's why he says, in order to follow me, you can't be in the body. All right? He's speaking through the spirit, through the soul, because your body is magnetically attached to this planet. And most people don't even know what this planet's name is. Everybody calls it, we live on planet Earth. No, you don't. No, you do not. But people don't read. But anyway, sorry, I digress. But I just had to get into that. You know, every religion, no matter what it is, what denomination or anything else, has an alien link to it in some way, some form.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of this 33-degree Mason, 33rd parallel, Trinity test site, he's the one that's personally responsible for killing thousands upon thousands of Japanese at two cities close to the 33rd parallel, known as Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Speaking of Japan, now this is just rumor mill type stuff. Supposedly, the Japanese are going to commit what's known as economic harikiri. They're going to throw themselves on the grenade that is the U.S. economy by supposedly massively investing in the derivatives that are in or come from the stock market, New York City. That will effectively destroy Japan's economy because everybody knows that derivatives are junk.
Actually, that's old type of news. Japan is already dead. Japan's economy crashed, sunk, and burned 20 years ago. This is why we don't hear about Japan at all anymore. They're not doing anything. They can't even feed themselves. Japan doesn't even own Japan anymore. They are literally bankrupted 100%. Economy, people, everything. There is nothing left to Japan. On paper anyway. Obviously, there's still people living there. Obviously, in that aspect. But Japan is gone. China is the powerhouse. China is the one who's buying up everything. Who's sinking billions upon billions upon billions of dollars around the globe. It's not just here in the United States, but it's around the globe.
Right. Now, China is set up to be the next reserve currency.
Correct.
They're supposed to take over the place of the American reserve currency. The point is that Japan is the one that's going to be used for this. And I don't know if it's specifically to give China just enough time to become the new world currency, or if it's to, kind of prop up the American dollar as the reserve currency for a long enough period of time to where they can come up with the new world level currency. But that's the reason why the Japanese yen is going to be used to buy up a whole bunch of the American derivatives. I know Japan's been destroyed. I mean, the death knell, let's say, of what was Japan happened, last March. Was it last March? Has it been a year? Has it been 2 years? With the tsunami and the big nuclear power plant disaster and all that. And that was the death knell of Japan. Those poor people. My heart goes out to them because they were decimated very badly. But if you look at that once again, it's a March thing. But it had to happen for all of this other stuff to happen, and so Japan was used in that one sense.
Well, that's right. It's going to be worse than that. Like we do mention, only because you brought it up, the currency issue, the new world currency. We know that and I explained this many, many times, but now here's a new nail in the coffin, if you will. And it's getting close, and it's getting scary. And people think this is a good thing, and because they don't understand it, they don't realize what they're agreeing to. Canada is and has brought up many times about getting rid of the penny. Well, we've had that conversation here in the States as well. They're using the guise of trying to save money because the penny costs more than a penny to make. So let's get rid of the penny. Well, the states are going, well, Obama, I should say, is trying to take that one step further and talking about the nickel. Okay, get rid of the lowest form of currency, get rid of the nickel. Oh, and what do you think would be next? Oh, let's get rid of the dime. All right. It's a transition. They're trying to get rid of coinage, turn it into paper. Paper they're trying to get rid of and going to turn that into plastic. We already see that taking place today. What people don't understand, all coinage, all of it, no matter how old it is, whether it's printed yesterday or it's printed 10,000 years ago, okay, all coinage falls under public, interest-free, debt-free currency. It's the only thing that's still left. That is public money. You're not charged for it on your income tax. You're forgiven automatically without even realizing it for the usage of those coins. If they can get rid of that being the last public source of public currency, that's the end of the planet, folks. It's the only thing that's preventing them globally. It's not just our coins. It's global coinage. It's the only thing that is preventing the one world currency to come into effect. That's it. When they can get rid of that, and it's going to start with the penny, and then it's going to be the nickel, and then a dime. And people are like, oh, yeah, this sounds great. Yeah, we can save money because we're not going to print the penny anymore because it costs more than a penny to print. So it makes sense, right? Well, okay, now you've got to adjust everything that you would have gotten pennies for. Everything nowadays is a sale at, $4.99. Instead of telling you it's $5. You think you're saving something. And you add in the 6 cents tax. Well, now it's, boom. This is why it was all adjusted, to try to get the penny out of circulation. Once the penny goes, they'll adjust the price. You won't see the 99 cents anymore, or you'll see a different tax than the 6% tax to even it off to where, oh, look, we really don't utilize the nickel anymore. Right? You see the progression here, folks? And once they get rid of just those two bottom currencies, the rest they don't even need to adjust pricing for. They just simply get rid of it altogether, period. No, we don't need it anymore. And people are so stupid, they're thinking it's a beautiful thing. Oh, it makes life so much easier. I just got the card to carry around. Everything's on a piece of plastic. We don't have to worry about printing up paper anymore, or printing money, or any of this anymore. It's a progression, folks. It's a progression. Don't let them do it. When you got a chance to, if you're a boater or whatever the case may be, you see any of this taking place, you hear more and more about trying to get rid of this. Canada also is aware of this. Fight it tooth and nail, because the second they get the penny, the rest will be gone. And then that's the end. It's all said and done at that point. Yeah, might as well just put a bullet in your head, because you have just literally given up the only source that you have left that is yours, that is public. In other words, it's debt-free. It's not owned by the private Federal Reserve or a private printing company that print up the plastic cards and the paper money and all the rest of this crap. Once that goes, you might as well kiss your ass goodbye.
Yep.
There's nothing left you can do.
Got it.
Good. Fight it. If you see it, do everything in your power, folks. Do not let it happen. Don't let them give that crap that it costs. Oh, it costs more than a penny to print the penny. So, and they're going to use that as a good excuse. Just like they always have an excuse, always use something, either financially, because the economy is hurting so bad, or sexually. Oh, it's like the global warming crap. You're against global warming? Well, then you must be a pedophiler. Yeah, or that's for the smart TVs, rather. You're against smart TV technology and us keeping an eye on you with the smart meters that are on your houses and the smart cars that we have and the smart televisions in your living room and all. They can monitor every single thing you do, every keystroke you make, everything you click on, everything you watch on television, every time you know, all this crap, folks. It's all Big Brother is here. Wake up. All right, it's all about control. And if you fight against it, all right. You must be an edge. And they'll throw something at you. Like, what do you mean you don't want to be monitored? Well, what do you mean you wouldn't, don't want the chip that's supposed to be coming out next year and everybody's mandatory in the healthcare bill, which has been removed, but of course it's snuck in somewhere else. I'm sure they reworded this. But, trust me, they use it all the time. They're going to sit there and say, oh, well then you must be a pedophile or if you don't want to be watched. This is what they do. Nobody wants to be marked or considered or a pedophile or you're a terrorist. You must be a terrorist. You must be doing something, planning something, and that's why you don't want to be monitored. They're going to use all these kind of psychological impacts on you, and they do it all the time. They've been doing it for 100 and some odd years, if not longer. So don't fall for the games anymore. Don't fall for the bullshit. It's time to say enough is enough. It's time to take it back. It's time to put them in their place before it's too late. And for a lot of this stuff, it is too late. For a lot of things, it's going to be almost impossible to recoup from. But we haven't hit the end yet, folks. There's still hope. Hang on to that little bit of hope. And fight the real fights, Don't fall for their lies and their games and their bullshit. Start growing your own damn food. I dare for the food police or whoever may be coming, especially with the rainwater crap. You can't have rainwater, you can't capture that anymore. Blah 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 blah. All this bullshit, regulations and stuff that are coming out all over the place. Yeah, go ahead and try it. You try to come onto my property and cut down my plants, you'll be leaving in a body bag, hate to tell you. And you think I'm going to sign any ticket, summons, or anything else in the world that you may come up with? Because I'm improperly growing food or any of this other crap. First of all, I ain't going to sign the damn thing. And secondly, you wait till I get in court. Because I rip you a new one. From head to toe, backward, forward, and inside and out. They'll have to lock me away. They'll have to put me in put me on death row. It's time to stand up, folks. It's time to stop. It's time to stop the bullshit. Wake up. Start growing your food. Start taking self-responsibility. Stop relying on Big Brother. Because until you get off their nipple, until you finally stand up to them, tell them to stick it up their ass, we don't want your benefits and entitlements anymore, they're just going to grow and grow and grow like they've been doing since day one. And it all starts with education and taking back personal responsibility. But until you can do that, folks, until we can all do that, there's no way to stop this snowball in hell rolling downhill. Because one person standing up is not enough. That snowball is way too big for a single Superman to sit there and try to stop it from rolling. We may be able to slow it down a little bit, but you're not going to stop it until we get enough people. That whole 100 monkey thing, okay? Somebody's got to be part of that 100. Somebody has to be the first to stand up.
I'm wondering if we have enough people to make that 100, I mean, seriously, there's a lot of people out here that could help spread the word, help spread the information and all that stuff. And I mean, yeah, we're making small bits of progress, but I'm not seeing that much, Yeah, okay, one guy every week or so, that's not enough. We all got to, forward the information, show people, start telling people, look at this, look at this law. Look at this stupid law. You know, like the one where that specifically Executive Order 12803. Everything in the United States is for sale, and then it starts a list. You know, everything in the District of Columbia is for sale. Gotcha. No wonder. You know, no wonder. It's a stupid corporation. Of course, everything's for sale.
Does that mean that I can?
Huh?
Sorry, I was just trying to be a smartass. Does that mean that I can buy that little 10-foot circle that, you know, I'm free to smoke a joint in if I want to? You know, does that mean I can buy that little concrete, you know, piece of whatever? I was just trying to be a smartass. I'm sorry. That totally failed.
Well, you probably could if you have the money for it. There's this little spot down there, not too far from Congress, not very far from the White House, where your congressmen, senators, judges, presidents, the president's wives, and they all kind of, you know, gather and hang out and smoke doobies.
Yeah, I'm not bullshitting you. I know, dude, I know you're not. I've actually seen that place when I was in 8th grade. A lot of the 8th graders, I'm not sure if they still do it now, but a lot of the 8th graders, when I was back in junior high, had our trip to Washington, D.C., and we got to see that little circle sitting there, and we saw a bunch of politicians sitting there smoking something, but we were young, we were stupid, we didn't know what it was. I was a pothead back then. I knew exactly what they were doing. I wasn't stupid. Man, I wanted to go join them. Shit, dude, are you playing? I knew exactly what they were doing at freaking 12 years old. I wasn't no dummy.
Yep, yeah.
I'm sitting here freaking, I'm like,
oh, but then they get...
whoever, hey, I know what they're doing over there. Do you know what they're doing? She said, Jessica, come on, we need to keep going. I was like, dude, I know what they're doing, everybody. I know what they're doing. They're smoking weed. You know, I tried to tell everybody, but nobody would listen to me.
Well, you know...
I just find it funny. I'm sorry. I found it funny.
No, it is funny. It is funny because, you know, they run back to the states, you know, run back to where they go to church. You know, they get back to their constituencies, and is you not my baby type of deal. You know, hey, but I've been out there in Washington D.C. smoking weed all week long, but you guys aren't allowed to here. You know, over here in New Mexico or Colorado or Oklahoma or wherever they go back to, you know. No, you're not in Washington, D.C., and in Washington, D.C. you can, but out here, no, you cannot out here. And, you know, I need to stop calling it Washington, D.C., because it's not Washington. Washington is outside of D.C. D.C. is D.C., and D.C. is not Washington at all.
No.
You know, D.C. is its own city, state, foreign corporation, foreign entity, foreign whatever you want to call it, but it's foreign. Anyways, to get back to what I was saying, I'm already done. I'm like halfway past. You know.
Can you really blame them? Anybody, you know, who brings their political career as far as to get to Washington? Yeah, gotta be on something again.
No shit.
There's crap going on, and you start realizing the truth about everything when you get to that point. You definitely got to smoke some wacky weed, man. It's the only way you're gonna get through the day.
Oh, I'm telling you. I mean, just waking up, and learning more about what's actually been going on, I can see how my drinking career, let's say, has been advanced. Seriously, I went from being a real amateur at drinking to being a complete professional at it. I am a heavy duty drinker. I thought I was back when I was, you know, 18, 19 years old. That's nothing, buddy. I can sit up all night long drinking beer. And I mean all night long, literally.
I feel so. All my fault.
But anyway, we use the word cabal a lot, you know, and the cabal that we tend to hear the most and most people tend to use when they're writing is Cabal. That's not the Cabal that I'm ever talking about.
No.
You know, I'm talking about the Kabbalah. It starts with a K. Kadbalah. That's a different group. It's a specific group, actually. And here we go once again on the 33. The tree Sephiroth of the Kabbalah has 33 elements, including the whole of it and its constituent parts. Get the word constituent? All right, well, somewhere along the line, a rabbi offered some interesting information about Kabbalistic / Hebrew significance of the number 33. He says the number 33 signifies entry into the mystery or the secret levels of creation. On the Kabbalah side, I can see that. On the Hebrew side, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure because the Hebrews and the Kabbalah are two different people. The Kabbalah are the ones we know as the moneyed power elitists that are destroying the planet. The Hebrews are the Jews, and I don't believe that the Jewish people want anything to do with the Kabbalah. As a matter of fact, if they could kick them out of Israel, I believe they would, and that would probably minimize a lot of the bullshit going on in the world today. But it's all been written. We know their playbook, and they're going according to their playbook. And I mean, we men and women, because I'm not going to say we the peoples, because we the peoples
are not we the people.
Yeah, we are not we the peoples. We are the men and women of the planet. What we need to do is get a game plan together. And even if we don't have a game plan, we need to group up together and stop these idiots from their insane tirade. It's like the song says, enough is enough. But when are we going to say it's enough? We have these lunatic socialists. They call themselves, and greedists that call themselves the liberals. They're out there running around promoting socialism. Oh my God, how stupid can you be? So there's no connection between socialism, the form of government that is murderous by in its essence, in its personality, in its form, in its many ways. Socialism is a bad thing. It's very murderous. It's the one form of government that has killed 200 million people, I believe is the number that we're seeing right now. And yes, that statistic does include Americans that are as being the socialists that are doing the killing. Okay? All right, I'm going to move on. The point is that socialism is not connected to society. There is no connection in the two words. These people are getting it wrong. They think that just because it says social in the beginning, they mean it's societal. It is not societal at all. Socialism is nothing more and nothing less than the government owning absolutely everything, including your ass and your mind. And they will control every bit of it. I guarantee it. You let this shit happen, you will be suffering for it. If you're one of the lucky ones that gets to, let's say, not have to be, or gets, and let me put it the way they would, gets to be freed of the imposition of having a body. Did you get all that? Freed of the imposition of having a body. Yeah. Anyways, if you're one of the lucky ones at the beginning of what's coming that gets knocked off, for lack of better words, you're going to miss out whole bunch of bad stuff. But being a spirit, once you're in spirit form, you'll get to watch it if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. It's pretty bad. Some pretty bad shit's coming. Anywho, where was I? Oh yeah. Now the number 33 in the significance that the rabbi was giving, entry into the mystery or the secret levels of creation. It is associated with the word Gal, something like that. It's a G-A-L word, which was used in Psalms in the manner of asking God to reveal the secrets of the Torah. Also, it suggests the end of suffering. Okay? Now, in spiritual numerology, the numbers 11, 22, and 33 are the three master numbers, the highest being 33, of course. Now, I'm just pulling data and information is what I was doing, from places like phoenixmasonry.org and master numbers from decoz.com. And then, and this takes me right back to Obama, since Israel happens to be. Okay, on the 23rd of March, we are supposed to start the microchipping thing. It's supposed to be law. Now, I know, that part of the law was done away with, this, that, and the other. Yeah, it's kind of been done away with, but it was put in charge. The states were put in charge of getting the microchips put in. Texas is having a lot of problems with getting kids microchip because there's people out there that already know where this is going and where it's supposed to lead. Now, let's see here. Anyways, so on the 22nd, Obama arrives in Jerusalem on his ass, and on the 23rd of March, we begin the microchipping cross-country, and probably all states will want to do it. All the while, at the same time, okay, from the 18th through the 28th of March, the UN is doing a conference on their version of the arms trade treaties, the arms trade agreements. In other words, who's allowed to have a pistol and who's allowed not to have one. Well, on that other side, all veterans are starting to find out right now because they're starting to get letters from the VA stating, hey, if you're receiving benefits, there may be a problem with your benefits. Yep. And it goes on, blah, blah, blah. Your mental health evaluation, this, that, and the other. And if you don't respond to this letter within the next 30 days, you will lose your right to own any type of weaponry. Anything. Yep. Any type of weaponries. Yep. So think about it. If you're a veteran, guess what? Nobody likes you except us other veterans.
I do.
I do.
I appreciate everybody who served. Thank you very much.
I don't.
Nope. I don't. I think there's no. My opinion really is of no value and of no consequence to any of this. I'm just trying to put out data and information while I'm sitting here polishing brass. Anyhow, look, they're gonna, and they've already started, because California did this thing where one person, or a wife, I think is what it was, or maybe it's the husband, spent 2 days in the loony bin over there in California. They came home, and apparently 2 days in the loony bin means that you're so incompetent you're not allowed to have any type of weapon at all in the house. So the guy was home for 3 hours, and when SWAT showed up, SWAT showed up at his house. and they attacked that family. Yeah, that wasn't good. That's not good. That tells you right there what they think of the American people. Now, if they're willing to do that to a veteran, I'm damn sure they're willing to do it to a civilian, because a veteran will fight, but a civilian won't fight as hard as a veteran. We're trained. We know what we're doing. We're going to take a bullet or two before we give up. Civilians might not even take a bullet. It might just take a couple rounds hitting close to them, and they're giving everything up. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Depending on who you're talking about, because me, sorry, I have to throw, never mind, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Well, it all kind of ties together. It all ties together. It's all part of the plan. You can't look at point A and say, oh, it's unrelated to point B, because it's not. It's all related. There's a large significance that is coming soon, and that will allow them to take all the guns. And I think that's what the UN thing is between the 18th and the 28th. And I believe that Obama,
Well, let's reword. They're going to write something up, just like they've always tried to do, to some way, somehow limit gun ownership. They're going to try, of course, to take it away in some form, some aspect, just like they did over there in Great Britain. People willingly gave up their guns. However, I've looked at a lot of this paperwork. I've looked at a lot of these things coming down, and they're so stupid it's not even funny. Their focus is on handguns or certain caliber type weapons. Right now, the focus is not even on handguns; it's focused on a specific caliber.
Yeah, the 223.
Yeah, certain caliber and above. They want to get rid of those. Okay, go ahead, no problem. Of course, it is.
Yeah.
We don't want to take any, but I'm saying that's all right. It's all going to be different things they have always done, action, reaction, to try to get us to react in a violent manner, to bring on some sort of revolution, civil war, whatever the case may be, so they can really bring down the heavy hands. We can't respond like that, folks. Right? There will never, and they didn't even in Great Britain when they got rid of all their guns and everything. People still have guns over there. They have different hunting guns and whatnot. You know what? If you have practice and you know what you're doing, let them play with the higher calibers, folks. Okay. What do all hitmen use?
Snipers.
I knew that was coming. You know what caliber has been used more by hitmen than any other caliber? And I don't mean snipers like army snipers. I'm talking professional, go-out assassins. These guys are private assassins. You probably don't even know their name. They might have started in the military and become, I don't know, infantry or whatever, and they said, well, this is a good way to make money. And so they go out, and they bought themselves a 22 caliber semi-automatic pistol, and a 22 caliber semi-automatic rifle, and a scope.
Exactly. And you know what all weapons are? For the most part, they're all 22s, folks. I can play with any caliber you want. I'm sorry, I'm that good of a shot. And with my 22 rifle at, I'd say 250 yards, I'm deadly accurate. And I don't care what kind of shielding you have, what kind of vest you have, what kind of body armor you're wearing, or anything. If you have a quarter of an inch of open skin somewhere in your neck, your face, your head, or anything else to that effect, you're a dead man. Or
right.
It's maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I need to start popping bottle caps again.
Hey,
what I used to do is I'd collect bottle caps and I'd set them on the fence posts back home. But this is the old metal bottle caps. I'd set them up on the fence post and then shoot them off the fence post with a little 22 just to keep in practice.
Ripper.
Well, you start correctly, and then bottle caps will get about 8 to 10 feet further each time that you go to shoot. It's 8 to 10 feet further. Now, by the time you've done 25, 30 bottle caps, you're popping way out there. You're really shooting out there. And if you can hit a bottle cap, all you really need most of the time is a good 50 yards, 75 yards. I can still do one at 100 yards, I believe. I think I still have the eye for that.
With my rifle, I can't with my pistol. My pistol, I struggle at 50 yards now. My vision's just shot.
Yeah, I tell you what.
At 50 nowadays.
If I tried to hit the side of a barn with my 22, I'd probably end up shooting my pickup. That's how bad I am with the pistol. I've always been horrible with a pistol. Now with a rifle, buddy, I tell you what, watch it. Watch it, because I love my 22 rifle, and there's nothing stopping my ass.
I can't.
But yeah, 22 is the most used assassin style round. They're heading for the 23 and up, So there goes all your high-powered rifles. There goes just about any high-powered anything. But I tell you what, 410 shotgun, slug. Think about it, .410.
Can I say something?
No.
Yeah. just a small little thing right there. Y'all are talking about guns, and I'm sitting here shaking my head at y'all. Not that I have anything against guns, because if I have to use one to protect myself or my kids, believe you me, I'll do it. But I'm more prone to the bow and arrow, and if I can shoot my bow at or my arrow, whatever, at 100 yards, with what I use on my target is a tiny little itty bitty dot, whether it be black, orange, green, yellow, blue, whatever. And it's small. It's about the size of a dime. And I can see that sucker 100 yards away. And I'm usually when I shoot that sumbitch, I'm, like I said, about anywhere between 80 to 100 yards away. I hit that sucker damn near dead center. Damn near dead center. So, not just guns, but bows. Bows are damn good, too. It just takes a little bit of time to use the bow and arrow, but it honestly, it works.
In crisis situations, people, and I agree with you, Jess, 100%, and I'll even show you even more proof to that. Have you ever seen any
situation? I'd use a gun, though.
Have you ever seen any kind of sci-fi movie that deals with, end of times or, anything to that effect? You will realize that bow and arrow is the way to go. Quite a few reasons. First of all guns, ammo are going to disappear. So you only have that supply. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yep. Most people, when they go and loot a place and wipe out a place, they're going to ignore the bows, the arrows, the crossbows, anything in that category. They're going to ignore that. They're not going to take that stuff. And not only that, you can't go and dig the bullet out of a body to reuse it.
Nope.
You can in
that. You can't sharpen the bullet either.
Exactly. Okay.
And you can make if my bow breaks, I can make my own bow out of twine and freaking wood.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't have to spend another $400 on a bow. You're not going to be able to have the chance or the ability to do that because there aren't going to be any stores around or whatever. Go out in the freaking woods. I can't remember the exact kind of wood you get. I'm still trying to do research and whatnot. But there's a certain type of plant or reed that you can use for twine, and there's a certain kind of wood that you can use for that my ancestors, the Native Americans, the Indians, that we had used for bows and arrows. I can't remember the exact specs, but there are certain things, and we have abundance of it out here in Eastern Oregon. Boom.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, we did a lot tonight. We're down to the last minute, folks, so wrap it up.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, Obama's supposed to receive the Medal of Distinction from Israel, which is Israel's highest civilian award from their president. There you go. Anyways, Shimon Peres is the president. Anyhow, good night, folks. I'm out of here. I've said enough. There's so much more, but go look it up.
Weeks and weeks and weeks. I know there's so much information out there, everybody. We appreciate you joining us tonight. I hope the information was useful and entertaining for you this evening. And please don't forget to catch us on Wednesday night. Jesse, you want to say goodnight, dear? I don't want to leave you out.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Sorry about taking up that last little bit of importance there, Jose, but I had to say something about the boat. I'm sorry. It's kind of important to me, and I thought I'd let everybody know that, yeah. Anyway, good night, everybody, and I will see you next week.
It's cool, Jesse. Good night, all.
Hey, kiddo.
Good night, y'all.
Yeah, that's perfect information. Jess, greatly appreciate you bringing that, darling. Very important. Couple of seconds. So basically going to say, God bless y'all till next time. Till we meet again. Do your studies. Keep up the hope. Keep up the faith. Keep up the good fight. And don't let them get away with murder. Good night, all.
Night.